What's happening? Chef Rick with Eat Marketing. Today in our live cooking demonstration, what we're going to do is we're actually going to talk about two different pieces of equipment. We're going to talk about the Globe, the SP20 mixer, and then we're also going to talk about this sweet piece of equipment right here. This is the Middleby Marshall CTX. But for right now, we're going to start off. We're going to do a kind of a process and show you guys how everything works today. So using this Globe mixer, we're actually going to grind our own meat in-house for our burgers that we're going to be cooking in the CTX. So the Globe mixer, this particular Globe mixer is a standalone unit. You can put it on a tabletop. This goes anywhere from 5 quarts to 25 quarts. It's just considered the SP20. It's actually the #1 selling mixer on the market right now. It actually will sit on a tabletop like this one, or you can set it on a high table, you know, if you're doing prep and everything like that. This particular mixer is gear driven, so there's no bands that are associated with this. So in actuality, what that means is the gears, you get a stronger power transfer all the way down from the motor to the unit itself. So when you're pulling through, you're grinding meat, you're hitting doughs, whatever it is you're doing, you're going to get a better power transfer going through that. Another neat feature right here is your locking mechanism right here. They are not loose sometimes, so they're spring driven. So they actually, all you got to do is float it that way, locks it into place. There's no more bouncing of your bowl or anything like that when you're trying to mix. Double lock feature right here. So something unique feature is if you need the unit to be in use, you can have it closed like this in order for it to operate. And then if you need to get to it, you actually just kick it over to the left-hand side, and then you can get down here into your bowl, just recess it like this. So anytime you're going to want to use your piece of equipment, you want to make sure both pieces are locked. Another neat feature that it offers right here on the bowl is a piece that is actually welded to it, so you don't lose it. Some of the other mixers on the market, they actually come with this like little dump shield right here. It will get lost sometimes if it's not attached. This one's attached, so if you're putting flour, you're putting liquids, this is perfect right here to have. And if you need to clean it, take this off right here, slide back on if you need to, dishwasher safe and everything goes. All right, so today we're going to grind some meat. So we got the nitty gritty out of the way, we're going to grind some meat right now. I put my meat attachment on here right now, I put my grinder on here. I keep my grinder in the freezer at all times when I'm not in use. The reason is it keeps the meat cold. So when you're grinding it, so your meat comes out nice and evenly. Sometimes the meat grinder is warm, it will not come out nice and clean. So what we're going to do is just kind of keep it, another little feature right here to kind of keep everything in one place is, there's a little piece of plastic wrap just over the front of it. And what this does is, actually when your meat is coming out from in here, all the way out, the meat's going to just be able to drop down right in your pan. Also too, my pan is sitting on a pan of ice water, so it keeps your meat cold while you're in the grinding process. So with that being said, I just set my minutes at like 12 minutes right here so I can run the process through. Another feature is this front fascia plate right now. It's completely flat. There's no grooves in it or anything like that. So it's perfect for sanitary kitchens. And when you're cleaning, you're operating, you don't have to get grooves or anything down. It's a simple wipe down process. So now, make sure my mixer's all the way up. Make sure my mechanism right here, my guard is in place and is locked down. Then all I'm going to do, I'm going to hit my start button. We're rocking and rolling right now. So this particular, when I grind meat, I've got 2 different blends in here. I'm going to use brisket and chuck roll. And for a little added fun, I put in a little bacon in here, just kind of give it a little extra flavor. Honestly, it doesn't really matter whatever you guys want to use. Totally up to you. The plunger, just use straight chuck roll. Years ago, when I was straight up working in the restaurant industry every single day, we used to get chuck rolls in, full-on chuck rolls, and we used to dry age them for 28 days, and then we used that meat to make our burgers with, so it's pretty awesome. So the dry aging process, what it really does is you're just letting air get to the meat. So all it's doing is just kind of, it's taking out some of the water and it's intensifying the flavor. So if you're ever at a restaurant, talks about dry aged meats on the menu, that's all it is right there. So if it's having a little difficulty coming out of it, it's not coming out 100%, all I do is I hit the stop button. I'm going to take it, since it is gear driven, I'm going to stop the unit completely. I'm going to take it down to number 2. I'm going to crank it up a little bit. There we go. But as you can see, the mixer's not moving, it's not vibrating or anything like that, so... Oh, now we're cooking. Now we got the hang of this in. recommend. Don't ever use anything. I've seen it. I've been in the restaurant business for a long time, so I've seen it all. I've seen somebody take, tongs and set them in here, try to push the meat down. The back end of a deck brush or something. Just please, whatever you do, spatulas, wooden spatulas, you name it. Pretty much seen it. So just please be careful. This thing, grab a hold of that and push it right through. You hurt yourself, and you've also ruined a whole big batch of meat. Now we've kind of got the force we want. Now that our meat's almost done, almost all finished up, what I'm going to do is a little trick is you take a piece of bread, Wonder Bread, doesn't really matter what it is, literally throw a piece of bread down in here. What that does is actually flush out any of the last remaining meat that's in there so you don't lose anything while you're in the grinding process. That's all it does. You'll start noticing it coming out right at the very end. I'll take this off. You'll start noticing you see a little bit of it come out here. That's it. Really all that does is, like I said, just pushes out that remaining stuff that might be stuck in, a little bit of fat or anything like that. And that's it. Now we're going to take this and go and make some burgers. Just throw it right in the freezer for a little bit, a couple minutes just to kind of get it a little bit chilled down if you want to. So mix it all up. I think we got a nice mix of fat, lean meat in there. And all we're going to do is just going to take it, form about a 6-ounce patty. Doesn't matter, 8, 12, doesn't really matter. We're just going to take it, form in our hands here. That's it. That's all we're going to do. Flatten them down just a little bit because when we throw them through the CTX, we'll get a great sear on those. Scale them out, or if you've got a burger press, you can put these in a burger press, knock out a lot of better prep time. Just weigh them out proper portions and then put them in your burger press. You'll be ready to rock and roll. Now that we got our burgers formed, what we're going to do is we're going to go take them over to the CTX and we're going to show you what that thing's all about. All right, so now we're done with our burger meat. We've ground it, we've patted it. So now I'm going to show you guys some of the features and benefits about the CTX oven. So the CTX oven is kind of the sister oven, or another oven I should say, to the WOW impingement oven. The difference in the units are, so the WOW works off impingement, the CTX works off infrared heat. So the CTX has 4 different heating elements in it. So 2 plates on the top, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, and then 2 plates on the bottom, 1 on the right and 1 on the left. These are, again, infrared heat. So what you can do with this is you can take it from as low as 200 degrees in each cooking zone, or you can take it as high as 900 degrees. So I can have this oven blasting at 900 degrees in all 4 zones, or I can have it sitting at like 800 degrees, which I have now, which seems to be a pretty standard cooking temperature for most items that we're going to do in here. This oven was designed kind of for simplifying the process when it comes to food being automated a little bit. So what does I mean by that? Is that you can program this up to 10 different settings on here. You can set the top temperature, the left and the right to different temperatures, or the same, again, bottom left and bottom right to the same. Your cooking time, you can change anywhere from 1 minute all the way to 30 minutes. And if you want, you have 2 different split belts here. So both, I think they're 18 inches. So you go from 18 inches to another 18 inches. You can have a split belt system, one being one time, one being the other. All right, again, 10 different programs in here. So for today, we're gonna do burgers. We're gonna do our burger buns, we're gonna toast those. We're gonna do shrimp for a panzanella salad. And then we're gonna make potato cakes. So instead of doing like fries or hash browns or tater tots or anything like that with our burger today, we're gonna make something a little bit different. And I used leftover mashed potatoes from the night before. So we're gonna convert that into a potato cake. So we're gonna cook all 4 different items in this oven, different times, but I mapped it out so we can kind of do them all at the same temperature in this oven. So you ask where you might see one of these. They're on some Disney properties right now. They're at a place called the Boathouse up in Orlando. They are in chain restaurants. I think Applebee's is one of them. Beef O'Brady's just launched it with one of these units in there. And then I've seen them at seafood houses. They put these things in seafood houses and run their shrimp, run their lobster, run all their seafood through them in their little cassoulets all at one time and just start boogieing. No more, long gone are the days where you're just in and out of the oven, losing temperatures and everything like that. The thing keeps its temp the entire time. Also with this oven is that if I want to do pizzas, this is an amazing piece of product to do pizzas out of. So it kind of gives you the allure of doing a deck oven pizza on here. All I do is I just set both my belts at the same time, and then obviously I have the oven at the same temperature, and we run pizzas through here, fresh dough pizzas in like 5 or 6 minutes. So with that being said, again, if you want to, you can check your actual temperature of the oven by hitting the actual button. It gives us a readout. All my temperatures set at 800 degrees. Great. Now, if I want to put this in standby mode, let's say I'm not using the oven for an hour or two, I'm between lunch and dinner service, but I don't want to turn it all the way off. Cool. Hit your feature button, hit your number 6, which is your standby. It takes it in standby mode. It drops the oven down by 25%. Kind of conserve a little bit of energy, get rid of some of the heat that might be in the kitchen. But honestly, I can rest my hands on here. I'm not getting any heat off of it really. The next question is, you asked about cleaning. Cleaning, this is the game changer right here. Because the oven will go up to 900 degrees, what it does is you actually hold the clean button down for 2 seconds. The oven goes up to 900 degrees, and it sits there for an hour. It burns off and it turns all the little particles that have blown in there from your chicken breast, from your wings, from your fries, anything like that. Change them into carbon, and then you can just take, once this thing cools completely down, take a little vacuum in there, vacuum it out, not a big deal. Or take your deck brush and then hit all your belts on here, kind of knock them loose. Cool. So this oven you can take up to 4 high. So if you want to stack this thing, you got a large operation, you're running pizzas, you're doing seafood, whatever it is that you want to do, you're running steaks through here, simulates like a broiler. This is the unit to have. Take it, like I said, take it 4 high. You might have to have a little bit of height on you to get the top one, but nonetheless, that's what you can use these for. So now we're going to start cooking. So I've done, like I said, we did the burgers earlier. What we're going to do is we're going to put them on this little griddle right here. Give you some idea of some marks. So if you want to do steaks, they make these larger too. They don't have to be this small. These are just the ones I have right now. So if you want to do steaks, chicken breast, anything that want to put a grill mark on, this is it right here. Also, if you want to use this oven for prep in the beginning of the day, and then you want to use it for service at night, it's an amazing piece to use for that too, because you can do all your cook your chicken breast if you need to. Baked potatoes in here. You want to do cakes or anything out of there, frittatas, you name it. Drop the temperature down in the morning, maybe 400 degrees, 250 degrees. Run your items through there, then kick it back on for dinner service at night. I put a little cheat sheet here, and anytime we put these into place in the market with end users, I recommend that you do this just in the beginning, just so you get familiar with what numbers are associated with what. So I've already programmed. I've got a preset. It says loading new preset. It's already on. I've already got it set up. I've got my front belt, which I have here. Number 1 is burger. I've got it on my front, so I wrote front right there. My potato cake is going to be on my back, and I wrote potato cake on there. When we get done cooking those, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm going to go to hit number 2, I'm going to cook my burger bun, and then I'm going to cook my shrimp. Again, it takes a little research in the front to figure out what times you need and all this stuff, but for the most part, once you figure that out, you can hire a cook on a Friday afternoon, have them in there cooking on a Friday night. All right, a little salt and pepper on here, we'll be good to go. All right, throw our burger in there. All right. Well, that's going. We're gonna do a potato cake. Like I said, I'm just gonna warm up the pan. I'm just gonna throw it in there real quick on the back side of it. Took a little leftover mashed potatoes from the night before. Egg, flour, and then all I did was I took a little caramelized bacon and some caramelized onions, tossed it in there, and similar to a galette, it's just going to rise just a little bit, caramelize, but it's like an alternative, a little bit using leftovers or anything like that, just an alternative to doing a hash brown or doing a tater tot or french fry or anything. Alright, cool, so we're just going to fill a little olive oil down. I'm going to take my mixture from the night before, spoon it on here. No. Just like this, nothing too crazy. Put 2 of these on here. right, and all we're gonna do is just kind of smash it down just a little bit and form it out. These don't have to be perfect, these are rustic. Those are really nothing, no crazy shapes or anything like that. If you want to, you can put these in a ring mold and put them down, do them ahead of time, whatever works for you. Take these, we'll slide it right in the oven. I have the burger set at like 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I have the potato cakes set at, I think I put those in on 330, so they're gonna go 3 minutes and 30 seconds, then we're gonna flip them over. So that being said, I'm gonna start the process of the panzanella salad, and then all we're gonna do is we're gonna roast shrimp through here, and we're gonna put the shrimp on top of the panzanella salad. Panzanella is a rustic tomato salad with bread. It's an old Italian salad that they just took their fresh tomatoes from the farm, a little bit of cucumbers, and then throw some day-old bread, and that just soaks up in the liquid that's in there. So mine's similar, but we're gonna put a little southern twist on it. So, because we are in the South. So we're just gonna put some tomatoes from the garden or from the store, wherever you're at right now. So I'm gonna toss them up in there. Take a little garlic oil that we made earlier. Again, garlic, we threw it right in a pan. Olive oil and a little blended oil. We threw the fresh garlic in there, and then just let it go for about 15 minutes, I think. Toss that. We got some fresh chives, parsley, and we're gonna throw a little basil in there too. Kind of break the basil up. We don't even have to rough chop it. We're just kind of break it up a little bit. Have the oils in our hands. So we kind of, I'll do this a little bit ahead of time. That way it kind of soaks in there. Let some of that moisture out just a little bit. Tomatoes, I cut them overnight though. I let them sit overnight so they drain out just a little bit of the water. Take a little balsamic reduction. What we're gonna do, okay, we should take it, we're trying to mix this together. So leave that like this. Forgot one thing. We're gonna add these. I like some red onions, but all I do is I like to can a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we took some red onions and we pickled them. Should throw some pickled red onions in there. So if you're a fan of these, you throw them on your burger. Simple pickling liquid, whatever you prefer. I mean, it'd be red wine vinegar using there as the base. Rice wine vinegar. You name it, doesn't really matter. Whatever you guys feel comfortable with. So just those give it just like a little extra bite, give it a little bit of depth. And then all we're gonna do, it's all done right there. And then we're just gonna let it hang out for just a second. And we're gonna add all of our shrimp to it when the shrimp comes out when we get done cooking that. Hothouse cucumbers. Cool. I threw some cucumbers in there, but what I did was just to kind of give it a little different element. I threw rice wine vinegar and salt on them. It just kind of helps with the depth a little bit. Sometimes cucumbers can be slightly, not so much, I wouldn't ever use the word bland, but they don't really add a whole lot to it, so we just kind of put a little vinegar on them and kind of get them greased up. Potato cakes start coming out. And the cool thing is, great feature about the oven is that it won't, your items, yes, they can get backed up if you're not over here, but you can put these in, go work on something else like I just did. Let the product come all the way through. Let the product do its job. You know, let the oven do its job. So it's gonna cook. It's also got to catch tray down here too, so when the product does come out, if you do forget about it, it's got to catch tray so it won't fall off the very end for you. Well, these ovens do also too need to be under a hood. So you'll start noticing sometimes when they get rock and rolling in, you're putting a lot of proteins through here. You'll start noticing a lot of billow up of the smoke and everything like that. It's just coming out of the oven. You'll see it blowing out the sides. You need to have it under hood. This one in particular is a 3-phase. They do come in single phase and 3-phase units. So right there. Obviously, pan's hot. Let those go a second time. The pans that come with it are that you can order from Lodge. They're a little bit more heavy duty than your normal like quarter trays or third trays or anything like that. They're just a little bit heavier duty, almost like, wouldn't go as far as saying a cast iron or anything, but they're right on that same wavelength, so they do retain heat a little bit more. So in the process, like I said, if you want to check your actual temperature to make sure everything's working properly, you can hit actual temperature. From an owner standpoint, there is a code, very similar to like a Turbo Chef, for example. There is a code that you need to put in here. So when you go to change the temperature on this thing, if I hit top temp, it'll ask for a key code required. And that's something, obviously, from an end user standpoint, use your best judgment on who you want to change that with or exchange that with. So if it's your sous chef, I probably wouldn't maybe say the line cooks or anything like that, because then you dial this thing in, and they figure the code out, and all of a sudden they start going a little rogue on you. But this is built, like I said, this is built for super consistency. So once you get all your stuff dialed in, let it do its work, man. You're putting a 6-ounce chicken breast in there. The end unit comes out, 165 degrees coming out on the opposite side. Maybe you had to do 2 or 3 of those to figure it out, but it does change the game when it talks about consistency. All right, the burgers are coming out. You'll notice, I'm gonna flip them over and you'll notice them on the back side. So you'll see your grill marks and everything like that when they come out. So in the meantime, while those are kind of coming out, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get my burger buns set up. I like to toast my buns a little bit. Sorry, I'm a kid. Toasty. So I just take a little melted butter. I threw the butter through here. Through the CTX, just a stick of butter, threw it in there for about almost 2 minutes, just kind of melted it down. And all I'm gonna do is just put it right there. We'll set this over on top. Burger's almost done. So we're gonna throw down a little garlic oil. This is for our shrimp. Throw down a little garlic oil down there, get a little flavor. Some shrimpsters. For a salad. Just toss those in a little bit of garlic oil. If you want to throw some herbs on here, or you want to make a pesto or something like that, the oven, it's going to take a little bit more than, we're going to cook the shrimp for about 2 minutes and 50 seconds, so it's going to take a little bit more than that to kind of burn all those herbs. So if you want to throw a pesto on here, or a different style of butter that's got a lot of herbs in it or anything, by all means, go for it. Cool. So now those potato cakes are coming out. Yeah. Burger's coming out, we're gonna let the burger rest for a minute. I'm just gonna let it keep doing its job. It's gonna come all the way through. That come down. Potato cakes are coming out. Doing good. Now that those have come out, so now what are we gonna do? Now I've got 2 more products to cook. All right, we're gonna take this and we're gonna take it from a preset 1, and I'm gonna go down to my preset 2. It says loading new menu. What it's going to do is it's going to adjust now to my time. So I don't know if you can get a close-up on this, Kelsey. You can see the belt. See how faster they're going now? So I took it from preset 2. So this belt, I know on preset 2 is set at 1 minute and 30 seconds for my buns. This belt in the rear is set at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, or 2 minutes and 45 seconds for the shrimp. I'm going to now set this thing on there. And now, let it do its thing. My burgers are out. The reason I love these units so much, and when people come into the kitchen, I kind of leave this one in here on a regular basis. I think it's because of the uniqueness and all the different features this oven has to offer. Like I said, it totally takes automation to a different level. I mean, you can still be a very, very skilled cook and get a kick out of using this machine. Or you can be a novice and kind of just be getting started in the industry, but you definitely want to make a splash for yourself. And obviously, being consistent kind of wins a lot of prizes in the industry. It helps people come back into the restaurant. Helps keep your place full, so this is great for that. Right. For the burgers, I made the southern sauce called a comeback sauce. So instead of putting like ketchup or anything like that, or barbecue sauce or whatever you're kind of into, I made a comeback sauce. Comeback sauce is a sauce that started in Louisiana. Really, it's mayonnaise, ketchup, cocktail, Worcestershire, and a couple spices. Super easy, but it goes with anything. And definitely around the house, when the summertime hits and everything like that, it's kind of always a staple. My wife makes sure I have that. And then blue cheese dressing at the house for dips or anything like that. So, I mean, it goes, you don't put it on fries, don't throw it on nachos, throw it on burgers, you name it. Hot dogs, the kids kill it. Oh, our buns are coming out. So, got our buns nice and toasty. Throw a burger on there. Take it over here on the plate. So, whatever you're into, I like bib lettuce. It's got a little bit more flavor than some other lettuces out there. Little comeback sauce on there. I like to get a little sloppy with it. Eating a burger, why not? Red onion on there, or if you want to, throw some of the pickled red onion out there. Don't let it go to waste. For good measure, you know. Alright, that's a freaking burger right there. I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Like I said, I didn't want to do fries or anything like that. Take a little potato cake. Set those on there. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Why not? I love sauce. Anybody that you ask will definitely tell you the same thing. I have a plethora of condiments in my fridge on a regular basis. These pans also to non-stick pans, so what you'll notice is when you go to throw them in the dish machine, you can hose them right off. Green scrubby, that's probably the best way to kind of clean these pans. I would stay away from using any kind of metal, like those metal scrubbies on there. The reason is you're just going to put grooves in there. It's not going to cook the same. You'll notice them start to peel. So our shrimp's coming out. 2 minutes and 45 seconds for the shrimp. You can smell that garlic. Shrimp over there. All we're going to do is, cool, not rubbery. These are just 16/20s. You want to get jumbo, you maybe got to change the time down on it just a little bit. Some shrimp in there. All that juice will go in there and soak in there too. Cool. So now, again, like we've said before, build your depth. You've got garlic oil, you've got fresh herbs, you've got pickled vegetables in there. Or I should say, you got pickled onion in there. Some fresh cucumbers that've got a little bit of vinegar on there. A fresh herb on top, and then you want to be a panzanilla salad without some croutons or some day-old bread. So, kind of in the South, I made cornbread. I like cornbread croutons, so I threw some cornbread. Yeah, I cooked it in the CTX yesterday. I set it at about 400 degrees, 20 minutes on a cook cycle. I put my cast iron through. To kind of get it warmed up. I threw my bacon fat in there, so I put it through it like I think for 5 minutes at 400 degrees. And then what I did was I threw my cornbread mix that I made in my cast iron pan with bacon fat, sent it through for 20 minutes, and it came out just what I was looking for, plenty perfect for croutons. So there you have it, CTX Oven, panzanilla shrimp salad, and then you've got your freshly ground chuck and beef burger right there with a little bit of comeback sauce. And then we're not going fancy today. We're going craft. So I'm not gonna lie, my apparatus right there, my tongs, open up the bottle opener. We're rocking the Sweetwater 420 today. You're outside, you've got a burger, you've got a beer. I lived in Atlanta for quite a few years, so I remember when Sweetwater was starting out in this little kind of rat trap little brewery off on I-20, and I can remember the smell of the brewery. So every now and then I'll grab myself a 420 or a blue and get down to business. So, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for Eat Marketing. This is Chef Rick. Thanks so much and have a great day.